WWE 2K24 has had more ups than downs, but one of the biggest letdowns has to be the recently released Pat McAfee DLC. The pack has been out now for a little over 2 weeks, and players have been able to spend some time with it. Today, we're going to take a look at why this DLC pack is, quite frankly, one of the worst, if not the worst, additions that we've seen in the entire WWE 2K franchise thus far. When the Pat McAfee DLC was first announced, a lot of his fans were cautiously optimistic. After all, Pat is actually a really great commentator. He has good quick wit, and he's also shown that he can be entertaining in the ring. But looking at the content itself, the pack includes obviously Pat McAfee and a handful of his podcast co-hosts. AJ Hawk, Austin Connor, Darius Butler, and Ty Schmidt. This lineup might sound interesting if you're a fan of the McAfee show, but in a game like WWE 2K24, it's a massive waste of DLC packing that could have gone to wrestlers who deserve it. There are a ton of wrestlers in NXT that could have been brought in and had the spotlight on them, but instead, it went to the cast of a YouTube show. Having Pat in the game, I'm all for it. Past games have had the commentators included as playable characters, which has been great if you're putting on your own shows. But podcast buddies? That should have been shot down as soon as whoever suggested them. A huge chunk of the player base more than likely don't know who some of these guys are, unless they are fans of the Pat McAfee show here on YouTube. The character models though for the pack, apart from McAfee, look absolutely dreadful. They look like the generic wrestlers you would go up against in the old story modes. The outfits for them are nothing but bland, and they have very little to almost no colour at all. Then you have the animations and movesets. You would expect something more creative, I don't know, special entrances, finishing moves that reflect their personalities, yet we get nothing of the sort, and it is very much the generic, oh, just give him this finisher, oh, just have him run and do a clothesline. Everything is just so generic, it hurts. The MyFACTION content is just so underwhelming, it's lazy, and it also feels like it was an afterthought. Next. This DLC has had more than its fair share of negativity, and rightfully so. As you can see from these Twitter X posts, there's an awful lot of sour tastes still left in players' mouths. Players are voicing their disappointment and calling this DLC a cash grab that adds no real value to the game, which I agree with. The content that is included is overall just lazy. It's almost like Pat had it in his contract that if he appears in the game, so did his buddies. Players want to have legends, past and present, to be in these games. They want to be able to have obscure wrestlers from the 80s and 90s and be able to pit these characters against the modern talent. Overall, the Pat McAfee DLC is a perfect example to show players that not all DLC is worth your hard-earned money. This is one of the packs that you could skip and you will not miss anything special or important. What do you think of the Pat McAfee DLC? Did you like it? Or are you just as disappointed as the majority of players? Let us know in the comments below, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for more WWE 2K24 content, and I'll see you soon.